Law 11. Learn to keep people dependent on you. To maintain your independence, you must always be needed and wanted. The more you are relied on, the more freedom you have. Make people depend on you for their happiness and prosperity, and you will have nothing to fear. Never teach them enough so that they can do without you. Transgression of the law. Sometime in the Middle Ages, a mercenary soldier, whose name has not been recorded, saved the town of Sina from a foreign aggressor. The city was extremely grateful for this act. However, no amount of money or honor could possibly compare in value to the preservation of a city's liberty. The people thought of making him the lord, but they said that wasn't enough to compensate him. They kept debating and debating. At last, one of them stood before the assembly exclaiming, "Let's kill him and then worship him as our patron saint." And so they did. Interpretation. Many of the great mercenaries of Renaissance Italy suffered the same fate. They won battle after battle for their employers, only to find themselves banished, imprisoned, or executed. The problem was that there were so many other mercenaries, as able and valiant as they were easily replaceable. Nothing was lost by killing them. Now, in most cases, we're not going to get executed for not making others dependent on us, but being easily replaceable can have dire consequences. Necessity rules the world. If you create no need for yourself, then you will be done away with at the first opportunity. If on the other hand you understand the laws of power and make others depend on you for their welfare, then you will survive. Louis XI had a deep love for astrology. He kept a court astrologer whom he admired, until one day the man predicted that a lady of the court would die within 8 days. When the prophecy came true, Louis was terrified, thinking that either the man had murdered the woman to prove his accuracy, or that he was so versed in his science that his powers threatened Louis himself. In either case, he had to be killed. One evening, Louis summoned the astrologer to his room, high in the castle. Before the man arrived, the king told his servants that when he gave the signal, they were to pick the astrologer up, carry him to the window, and hurl him to the ground hundreds of feet below. The astrologer soon arrived, but before giving the signal, Louis decided to ask him one last question. "You claim to understand astrology and to know the fate of others, so tell me, what will your fate be and how long will you live?" The astrologer replied, "I shall die just 3 days before your majesty." The king's signal was never given. The man's life was spared. Louis XI not only protected his astrologer for as long as he was alive, he lavished him with gifts and had him tended by the finest court doctors. The astrologer survived Louis by several years, thus proving his power of prophecy, but proving his mastery of power. He did this by creating an undeniable air of dependency through the use of fear. 5 ways to manipulate power. The first way, do seek out weak people in power. Bismarck understood the importance of keeping people dependent. He sought out a weak ruler, Friedrich William IV, King of Prussia, and created a relationship of dependency. He was a key player in restoring the king's power, so much that when the king died, his brother William, who preceded him, depended on Bismarck as well. Bismarck became their strength, their intelligence, and their spine, and in the process he became a powerful force to reckon with. He was the man behind the throne, calling the shots. The second way, enmesh yourself in the work of your superior. By doing this, your superior knows that to get rid of you is futile. They cannot afford to train another without losing time and a lot of money. The third way, possess a talent that simply cannot be replaced. People will think twice before getting rid of you, because to get rid of you may spell disaster. If you have developed a skill most people don't have, then you have secured power and influence over others. The fourth way, create a situation in which you can always latch on to another patron. This just simply means you have other places that will welcome your skills and talents. The fifth way, wrap yourself around the source of power. Place yourself in a position that to cut away would cause great trauma. You do not necessarily have to entwine yourself around the superior. Another person will do, as long as he or she is too indispensable in the chain. Do not imagine your superior's dependence on you will make them love you. It is more likely that they will resent and fear you, which is better that they fear the consequences of losing you, rather than out of love for your company. Reversal. The weakness of making others depend on you is that you are in some measure dependent on them. But trying to move beyond that point, it means standing alone. No such independence comes without a price. You are forced to isolate yourself, and isolation is dangerous. Better to circulate among people, find allies and mingle. You are shielded from your enemies by the crowd.